Good day, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name once again is Nnamdi Uche, and today we are going to look at the October-November 2023 IGCSE Computer Science Paper 2. Alright, so we're going to look at the programming part of the question. So let's go straight to the question. The question says a wood flooring company stores the names of up to 100 customers in a one-dimensional array. So we need to take note of some very important points here. What are those points? It stores names of customers up to 100 in a 1D array. So let's take note of that. And the name is customers. All right, so it also has a 2D array called quotation. So we have quotation 2D, stores the details of each customer's quotation. So for each customer, you would have the length of the room, you would have the width. So you have the length, you have the width, you have the area of the width, which is so let's take note that this ones are, or the length and the width are rounded to one decimal place each, and then the area is rounded to the next whole number. Okay, so then you have the choice of wood, so the choice of wood, then you have the price of the wood required. So for the quotation, you would have all of this. Okay, so it's more like we're trying to estimate the number of wood, that would be enough to floor a given area. So the floor measurements, that's the room and the length, are taken in meters. All floors are rectangles, and room measurement must be between 1.5 to 10. So let's take this, because this is going to be like the validation that we need to do here. Inclusive. Okay, all right, so jumping straight now, the index of any customer's data is the same in both arrays. So customer 1 has these details, customers 2 has these details corresponding to that index in the quotation. So that's what that part of the question is trying to say. For example, a customer named index 4 of customers corresponds to the data in index 4 in quotation. All right, so the wood choices available are, you have the index here. So for each of them, for wood, so here is the wood type and here is the price, so they correspond to each other, the index. All right, the date are stored in two 1D arrays, wood type and price. So you need to take note of that. Okay, so you need to, I think you need to initialize this one. The index of the wood type and price in their array share the same index number. So they share the same index number. So that's that. And then the rest of this is the question that we need to start coding from. Okay, so I will skip this part because we will look at it one after the other when we start writing the code. You must use pseudocode or program code. Okay, and add comments. Okay, so of course it's a tradition already by now that we must add comments and we must add user prompts. Okay, you do not need to declare any arrays of variables. You may assume, okay, all of that. Okay, you would need to initialize this, so we need to initialize this and that. All right, all input and output must contain suitable messages. So it's very, very important for us to add messages in prompts, user prompts, to be able to make our program user friendly and readable as well. Okay, so that's that. So let's jump straight to writing the program. All right, so let's get straight to it. Now remember that if you're writing the exams, of course you will be writing on paper, so you do not need to declare these customers and quotations. Okay, the question only says you need to initialize these two. So those are the ones you need to initialize. So ordinarily you do not really need to even declare them, you know, but you need to initialize them. All right. So but for our case, because we're writing the program in Python live, and you need to test your program as well to see how it works, so we need to do the initialization, the declaration and the initialization, because it is very, very key for us. All right, let's go straight to it. So customers, quotations. So we have customers. So let's put our comment here. Declaring variables, declaring and initializing variables. Okay, so what do we need to declare? We need quotations, that's an array. We need customers, I believe. Customers, that's an array. So let's go back to the question. Customers, quotation. Please make sure your spelling is correct, okay? If there's any letter that's in uppercase, please keep it in uppercase. All right, so what else do we need here? We need wood type and price, and these are the initial values. Okay, so we need wood type. So what are the values in wood type? Because we are asked to initialize it. Laminate, pine and oak. Laminate, pine and oak. All right, so what's the next thing we need to do? Prices, or price, not prices. Price equals, what are the values? 29.99. so 29, 39, 54, 29.99, 39.99. I hope I'm correct. 54.99. so let's check. Yes, I am correct. So we're done with that very part. So let's begin to look at the question properly now. So like I usually do, I'm going to copy this and then I'll use it as my comment. I'm sorry, unfortunately you may not have the liberty to do this, so you need to write them out yourself. Okay, so that I don't need to be going back and forth the question paper. Okay, so I am going to change them to comments. Okay, so the question says impute a new customer's name, room length, and then room width. So let us take the name equals, we need to impute that. So it's important to add a very good prompt. Enter customer's name. And then we also need to take the length. So length equals, remember this one is a decimal number, so let's call it float. And then in bracket input, we will now have to tell the user enter the length of the floor. Okay, so remember that we're supposed to do some sort of validation here, and we also need to keep the user entering the length until the user enters a valid number. Okay, so so checks for each measurement, so we need to do that. So let's come here, and we need to do that for both length and width. So let's come here and say length and then width equals 0.0 comma then 0.0. Okay, so that's ours for length and width as the initial value. So we need to come here and put a while loop. So we need to say while length while length is less than 1.5, or length is greater than 10.0. So while that is the case, the user will keep entering the length until the user enters the valid length. So we need to drop a suitable user prompt here for both the entry of the length and the error message in case the user makes a mistake. Okay, so enter the length of the floor between 1.5 and 10.0. okay, so that would serve, and this will keep the user at the same spot until the user enters a valid number. Okay, so we need to do that still for width. Okay, so I'll just come here and I'll paste here, and I need to change this to width. Okay, so I'll just come here, change to width, and change this to width, and then change this to width, and then change this to width. So that sorts out the validation part. So we need to adjust the comments as well. So remember that you do not need to use these comments like this, they are quite long. So I am doing that because I just was privileged enough to copy the question, so I don't have to go back and forth. Okay, so you can make your comments as short as possible, but make sure they are suitable and they do not lose the actual meaning. Okay, all right, so check that each measurement is valid. So that's here. So checks that each measurement is valid. So I could say checks that length is valid. So you can use this adjustment. Okay, so here I can say checks that width is valid. So make sure you use the appropriate, the suitable comment. Okay, all right, so now the next part says output an error message and require the measurement to be re-entered until it is valid. So we have done that part here. Okay, we've done that part here. All right, so let me do this. Let's say error message and user prompt. Okay, so you can do something like that. Okay, error message and user prompt. So I don't need this here anymore. Okay, so you could do the same thing for the length as well. Okay, all right, let's move on. Calculate the area of the room by multiplying. Aha, there's something I'm skipping here. Remember, this is supposed to be rounded to 1 decimal place from the question. The question says to 1 decimal place, so we need to quickly add that place. So let's say round and then go to the end there to 1 decimal place. The same thing with this one, round and then come here. Yeah, so that sorts out that problem. So we've handled everything in a single line of code or so. All right, so there's no need to go back and forth the question, except we have to check something. So here they say calculate the area of the room by multiplying together the length of the room and the width of the room. So we need to calculate that. So how do we calculate the length? The area they've already told us. So area will be equal to the length times the width. Okay, now let's go back to the question and check how many decimal place. Area of the wood is rounded up to the next whole number, so we need to round this, round to the next whole number. Next whole number will be 0. Okay, to no decimal place. All right. There's something I need to think about here, because we are estimating the area of a floor. Okay, so in this kind of task, there is always need to add some surplus in case of breakages, in case of cuttings. Okay, although the question didn't exactly tell us to do that, but usually from past experience of similar questions, there's always a room for us to add that. So but practically, I think even if you do not add it, there won't be any penalties for you because it was not stated in the question. But it is important to take note of such eventualities. However, to clarify things, I think we should check the mark scheme. Let's see exactly what they if they follow that very rule, or they just went ahead to use exactly as the question states. Okay, so here's the mark scheme. Let's see if they followed the same rule or they just went ahead to follow the question exactly. Okay, so this is the area. Okay, so you can see that they added 0.5. So this one is actually a number they usually add for estimates. Okay, when you're estimating tiles on the floor, bricks if you want to lay a wall. Okay, so you add a given number, although the number is not exactly set in. I don't know because I'm not an engineer. So but for this question they use 0.5. all right, but however, I still think that even if you do not add this number, it's not going to be a problem because the question never said you should, so it wouldn't be expected for you to use it in the marks in your code because the question did not specifically say that. Okay, so for the sake of our following standards, let's just add that plus 0.5. okay, all right. So the next part says, so calculate the area of the room by multiplying that. So we've done that very part. Impute the choice of wood and find its price per square meter. So remember that we already have choice of wood here as wood type and price. So we need to impute the choice of wood. So to make our program more interactive, it is okay if we also choose to kind of like display the wood types and their prices so that the user can actually choose. Okay, but I don't think that will be a problem. Even if you do not add it, it wouldn't hold any special marks. Okay, because it is not specifically stated in the mark scheme. All right, so let's do this. Display wood type and prices and corresponding prices. So how do we do that? Okay, so let's do a print message. Wood types and corresponding prices. Okay, so the next thing we need to do now is to take the inputs. Okay, so we need to display it first. We need to display that. So for let's use index equals for index in range. So what is the range? The range should be the length of any of those arrays that we used. Wood type, good. And then we need to do print. Let's do wood type index 0 index here, and then the price we can say prices. Okay, price index as well. So this is going to display wood type price, wood type price. Okay, wood type price, wood type price. So so I think we also need to drop more like the index here as well. So let's do that here. Let's do that here. Index. Let's do it. Okay, let's leave it this way. Index 0 that 0 that 0 that 0 that. So I think so. Let's do this. Okay, so I'm trying to have a picture where we're going to have something like 1, and then the wood type laminate, and then the corresponding price. Is it 29.99? So I want us to have this kind of display. Okay, this kind of display. That's what I'm looking at. So that way it's finer. So the user knows that for index this, he needs to enter that, index that, he needs to enter that. Okay. All right. So I think that sorts out the display. Okay, so the next thing now, we need to take the input the choice of wood. Okay, so we can call it choice equals, or wood choice. Let's use wood choice. Wood choice equals, it's an integer, so input enter wood choice, between 1 to 3. Okay, so you could use 0 to 2 or 1 to 3. Okay, so since I'm using 1 to 3, I think I need to also adjust this one and say +1. Okay, 1 to 3. So let's be mindful that when we take the input, we need to subtract 1 from it as well. Yeah, because in Python the array begins from 0. So let's do -1 here. Okay, so that will sort out the beginning from 0 issue. Okay, so once the user enters the choice, from the choice we can pull out the wood type, we can pull out the price as well. Okay, so calculate the price of the wood needed. So how do we get the price of the wood? The price of the wood has to be the area. Have we calculated area? Yes, the area multiplied by the price per square meter. Okay, the area multiplied by price per square meter. So let's call it quoted price equals area multiplied by the price of the wood. So we need to go to price, and then we get that in then the wood choice. Good. So that will give us the area, the price of the wood. Now let's go back to the question to confirm the price of the wood is to what decimal place. The price of the wood is to 2 decimal places. So it's very important for us to take note of that. So we need to round this to 2 decimal place. Okay, so that takes care of that. Now store all data in the relevant array. So we need to store all data in the relevant array. Okay, let's do the storing. So let's begin from the first data we picked, that is the name. The name should be under customers, right? Name. So we need to do customers dot append name. So that's the first one. Okay, so after appending the customer's name, the next thing we need to do now is to append the rest of is to store the rest of the data. Okay, So remember that the quotation is a 2D array. So we have added to customers. The next thing we need to add is to quotations from the question, quotations. Okay, so we need to add all of these there. Okay, so why not we do it the easy way? Let's say new quotation, new quotations, or quotation equals. So we can just initialize it at once. We need to do length and then width, I believe so. After width, what next? Area. After area, choice. So in our case it's wood choice, and then after wood choice it's a quoted price. Quoted price. Why did I use a capital letter Q here? Okay, quoted price. Okay, so I think that solves the problem. So we've been able to cater for length, width, that. Okay, so after doing this part, that's when we now need to append, quotation. Say quotation dot append. We now need to append new quotation to it. So that has solved the problem for us. So what next do we need to do? So here we need to output the customer's quotation to include the name of the customer, the choice of wood, the calculated price of the wood. Okay, so you can just reduce this to output customer's quotation. Okay, you don't really need all of this in your comment. So but let me leave them there so that I can use that to write the code. So what are we outputting? So we need to print customer's name. So customer's name, that. So how do we get the customer's name? So let me do this formatting here. Customer's name. So how do we get the customer's name? We can get it from, we can just use name here. Okay, yeah is going to work. You can just use name, it's going to work. All right, and then after that, what else do we need to get here? Customer's name, the choice of wood. So the choice of wood is wood choice. Wood choice, we need to get the name of the choice of wood. So, and to get that name we need to get it from wood type. Okay, should we say wood choice or choice of wood? Sorry, let me do this so that it starts from a new line. Choice of wood. So choice of wood will have to be wood type, and then the choice, the wood choice. Yeah, good. So after that, what else do we need to display? The calculated price of the wood. So let's say calculated price of wood. So the calculated price of wood will have to be the quoted price. So we could just do quoted price. That's that. What else do we need to output? The calculated price. Okay, so I think we've done all of that we need to do. Any other thing? Is there any other thing I'm missing out? I hope not. Okay, the question says continue to accept the next customer. So this very part is where we need to put everything into a loop. Everything goes into a loop apart from the initialization. Okay, everything goes into a loop. So how do we know when to end this loop? Let's go back to the question. I think they gave us a number. Yeah, they're up to 100 customers. So you can just do a while loop here. Say while let's say count is less than 100. Now the question is, what is the value of count? Say count equals 0, right? We use 0. Well, let's use 1. No, 0. All right. So we need to increment count somewhere here. We need to increment count that. So that will increment count. So each time we're done with one customer, it loops again. We're done, it loops again up to 100. Okay, so that's that. So I think this comment, we can take this comment up there and just put this, change this comment to increments customers attended. Yeah, okay, here we can drop that comment, continue to accept the next customer. All right, so I think that's basically that question here. So let's try to run this to see if we are on point. So enter customer's name, enter the length of the floor between this and that. So let me play around and see. Okay, so that works. So let's say it's 4.5, and then the width, let me play around again. So that works. Okay, so let's say 2.5. all right, so wood types and corresponding prices. So those are the prices. So I need to choose the one I want. So let's say I want pine. So this one says between 1 and 3. So we need to, okay, yeah, I think it's correct. So let's say if I want pine, that's that. Okay, so it's going to calculate, show me my name, customer's name, the wood type, the price, and then it loops again for me to continue entering. So there's something we need to do here. We need to add the $sign here, because I think from the question they say whatever we're doing is in dollars. Where are you? I can't see that thing again, but I know I read it somewhere. Calculated in dollars. Anyways, so in case you read it and then you see it, please do it to add that part. Okay. But I know I saw USD or something. Okay, let's move on. So I think that is the question. That is all there is to the question. Please, if you think I omitted anything, do well to correct that, and you can as well put it in the comment section, and I would definitely apologize and take note of it as well. Okay, thank you all. Please use this, practice with it. Remember, it's only practice that makes perfect. All right, so if you have any year particularly you want me to look at, please do well to drop it in the comment section, and then I am going to attend to it. Okay, any particular year you want me to address, okay, or if there's any question in the computer science you want me to look at, please do well to put it in the comment section. Please again, please do well to like, do well to share, do well to subscribe, so that when I drop a new video, you will be the first to know. Okay, share this to your friends, the people that need it, your classmates, your friends everywhere. I think they're going to need it, so share this to them and you will be glad that you did. Thank you all, and see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.